सर आप अपने आप को ऑडिबल करिए सर।
अंकुर उधर से खोल दो सर का।
सर लेफ्ट कर गए आई थिंक।
अच्छा।
हम्म। सर ने एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर के नाम से ज्वाइन किया था सर, इसलिए खोज नहीं पा रहे थे, अब आ गए सर।
आ गए।
जी सर, काइंडली आप शुरू करिए सर।
आ गए।
हाँ आ गए सर, सर आ गए और सर, हाँ सर आ गए, हाँ। जी
ओके।
सर,
Yeah,
कृपया आप सर शुरू करिए।
thank you. Now, can you all hear me, please? Good evening, namaskar to
जी
everybody.
जी जी।
Honorable Vice Chancellor and my dear friend, Professor Arvind Shukla, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor B.R. Kamboj from Hisar, Professor R.B. Madaria from Junagadh, Dr. Y.P. Singh, Director Extension, all the respected professors, scientists, and the participants in the 21 days international training program. Thank you very much for giving me this valuable opportunity of being with you. I was pretty impressed with the topic that you have chosen for these 21 days. Your topic for the 21 days training program is agriculture in future and future in agriculture. While it seems on the face of it like a play of words, it carries a lot of thought behind it.
Yes.
And I would like to once again thank Professor Arvind, a young friend of mine who I've known for many years. He has been inviting me to Gwalior several times, but unfortunately, each time I have tried, something has held me back. And this time, I didn't want to fail him despite having my own engagements. So I'm here with you on virtual platform. I've also had the privilege of joining a program along with Professor Kamboj. So very nice to see him here too. And Dr. Madaria was just here the other day at US Dharwad, where we all spent time together discussing about millets. Now, let me share a few of my thoughts on what is the agriculture scene in future and whether there is a future in agriculture. The second part of the discussion, future in agriculture, I think is more relevant to our students, to young scientists and academics and entrepreneurs
Yes.
who are all looking forward to opportunities in the agriculture sector. When we talk about agriculture in future, we certainly must recognize that there are several challenges. Considering that agriculture has held us together at the global level through the 12 millennia, you're all aware that the settled agriculture began sometimes 12,000 years ago when the hunter-gatherer forager man was able to identify certain seeds in the forest areas, was able to also domesticate certain animals from the forest areas, and with seeds like wheat, paddy, millets, and some pulses, the settled agriculture began. They learned how to sow the seeds, grow crops. They learned how to domesticate animals like sheep and goat. And therefore, the outcome of this new system was better security to food. When we have better security to food and naturally safety from entering the forest and being attacked by the animals and creatures, man was able to multiply himself faster. With multiplication of his own population, settlements began. Settlements grew up into small villages, and then villages, of course, gave birth to a new civilization. And through these 12,000 years, it has been agriculture because it meets the basic requirement of man. The basic physiological requirement of man is met through agriculture. Over the last 100 years, a new science has been applied to agriculture. In fact, the revolution in agriculture began sometimes in 15th century in United Kingdom. You might be surprised to know that the first step towards agricultural revolution was fencing movement, because lands were not fenced and they were freely grazed by animals. Then British government thought of promoting what is called fencing, so that the farms are protected from wild animals and also domesticated animals. And then, of course, you're aware that we had the famous Rothamsted experiment, where the use of chemical fertilizers was tested. Then we had the mechanical revolution in the United States, where new kinds of farm machineries began to be invented. But then, since Mendel was able to give us the principle or lay the foundation for understanding the principle of genetics for these famous Mendelian crossings, over the last 100 years, man has been able to harvest the advantages of hybridization and then combine that with intensive application of resources like chemical fertilizers and water, and then multiply the harvesting potential by a large ratio. And this has helped in meeting the basic requirement of mankind. While the population of globe was 1 billion when we entered 20th century, today we are at 7.8 billion. But then it is thanks to science and technology, thanks to policies of the governments across the world supporting the new science and technology, and the ability of the farmers to adopt the new technology, which has enabled the globe to meet the food requirements of the population as huge as 7.8 billion. But then what we are seeing is, thanks to intensive practice of agriculture, there is now a deleterious impact on the natural resources: soil, water, and air. These are the three basic requirements for us to have a sustainable agriculture. But then, given that soils have been degraded, given that nutrients like primary as well as secondary and micronutrients have been extracted beyond the threshold limit, given that water quality has compromised besides water itself becoming scarce, we have a challenge on hand. While we now need to look at sustaining and reviving the natural resources, simultaneously, we are also required to address the issues arising from climate change. The climate change, with its impact of rising temperature, changes in the seasonality of rainfall, and of course, huge amounts of greenhouse gases, are now going to exacerbate, or they have begun to exacerbate, the negative impact of the natural resources that have emanated from intensive system of agriculture. If these are the two external factors that throw up a challenge to our agriculture, the third dimension of the challenge is the demand on agriculture to meet the growing need of the human population. Our population is expected to reach 10 billion by 2050 and little thereafter. So imagine, just in 2 centuries, from 1 billion to 10 billion, and the same land resources and the same natural resources are now being called upon to meet a huge demand. If this is going to be the challenge for agriculture in future, are we to say that we are not going to practice agriculture? Certainly we cannot say that, because, as I said, food is a basic requirement. And agriculture is expected to generate food not only for the human population, but also for the animal sector, because that is part of our agriculture sector, part of our life. More importantly, we are living on Earth, which is a single ecosystem. When you talk of single ecosystem, then there is what is called an organic linkage among the different components of the ecosystem. From the single cell amoeba to the most complex subspecies Homo sapiens, we need to ensure that the plant world, the animal world, the natural resource world, all are able to live in an integrated manner and ensure that the ecosystem services are taken care of. So the challenge of agriculture in future emanate from these three primary dimensions. So what do we think we need to do about agriculture in future? So agriculture in future, as I said, first thing is to generate increasing demand for food and fodder and feed. Agriculture in future would be expected to produce more from less. That is, using less of resources, so that the efficiency of use of natural resources is much more than what it is today. Agriculture would be expected to see that the emission of greenhouse gases is as less as possible. Today, for example, agriculture accounts for 14.5% of the total quantum of greenhouse gases that we generate on Earth from different sources. While every segment, including automobiles and transportation and industry, would be expected to minimize the emission of greenhouse gases, 14.5% that agriculture produces will also have to be taken care of. So we will require new science and new technology, alternate technologies that will take care of minimizing the greenhouse gases. And then, more importantly, the agriculture would be expected to generate gainful jobs. When we consider agriculture as an enterprise means that it has to operate on a basis of profit. And profit is a function of the volume of produce, the cost of production, and the prices that the farmers will get on the produce. Whether it is a crop segment, whether it is a horticulture segment, whether it is a dairy and livestock segment, whether it is a fishery and aquaculture segment, every segment of agriculture would be expected to earn profits by generating more from less, from minimizing the cost of production, and simultaneously be able to tap the market in such a way that it is able to monetize itself to the advantage of the farmers. Alongside this, in countries like India and China and many other Asian countries where population is very high, one of the major demands on agriculture sector would be to generate gainful employment. Here I would like to stress that when we talk about the welfare of the society and welfare of the farmers, welfare is closely linked to income. Income is linked to employment. Income can be transferred to farmers either by giving them jobs and therefore they generate their own incomes, or by giving them a package of welfare, or alternately a combination of both employment and welfare packages. Given the fact that there are alternate demands and the limited resources of any country, it would not be possible for any government to pass on welfare packages endlessly. And farmers themselves may not want to depend upon such charities. They are also dignified, rationally thinking human beings, and therefore would prefer jobs such that they're able to generate their incomes. Therefore, the future of agriculture, or agriculture in future, would be expected to generate not only food as it has been doing for all these years or centuries, it would be expected to generate gainful employment. And as you know, in India, even today, a high of 26 crore or 260 million people depend on agriculture directly and indirectly. Of this 260 million, as per 2011 census, 120 million are farmers, that means cultivators, and 140 million account for the landless agriculture labor who take to labor in agriculture sector. So we need to generate jobs for all these people. That will be agriculture in future. So how do we go about it? If this is what agriculture would be in future, you would also be looking at new practices. So far, we are used to tilling the land, maintaining the soil health, water use efficiency, and using high-yielding varieties so as to generate more. But then, as I was saying, that we need to now start economizing on the resources, because there are other sectors of the economy, industry, infrastructure, services, and also demands for better habitation. The same land would be under demand from alternate sources. Giving a data point, between 2001-2 to 2011-12, we had to divert nearly 1.1 million of agricultural land for alternate purposes. So therefore, the extent of India's arable land has come down from 141 million hectares to less than 140 million hectares. In future, as we strengthen our infrastructure and alternate sectors, we will have to divert more and more land, arable land, for other purposes. So one side, the land will be shrinking. Another side, the population is growing. So we would be having a challenge. Therefore, alternate methods of cultivation, whether it is using controlled atmospherics, whether we going for polyhouses, greenhouses, etc., vertical farming, and using all land available within even the urban centers, is going to be a new system of agriculture. So if this is the agriculture in future, it will certainly undergo a lot of transformation. And that entire transformation will have to be shouldered by science and technology. All of us must believe that without science and technology, there's no future for any economy, whether it's agriculture or industry. Therefore, the future of agriculture will be knowledge-centric, technology-centric, skill-centric. So the days when we thought that farming is left to those who do not study, farming is meant for those who are dull, however wrong assumption it was, is not going to hold true. We will require people with knowledge, with ability to use technology, including the artificial intelligence and others emerging suite of technologies, and be able to use the forecasting models so that they are able to make agriculture as controlled as possible. That's going to be the future of agriculture. In your basic courses, all the students here must have read what is the difference between an agriculture and a mechanized system like industry. We always say in industry is a controlled situation. That means I can produce when I want to, I can put off the machine when I don't want to. But agriculture is season bound and it is nature bound. And therefore, there is a particular time when we need to till the land and sow the seeds. There's a particular time when the harvesting happens. So there is what is called a Hobson's choice. That means you sow the seeds, you can't control the production. But now in the future, how effectively can you bring in systems of management such that we're able to control our production? Maybe we'll be able to manipulate the photoperiodism to such an extent, even at the large scale in the open fields, that we will be able to say that I'm going to manipulate my production time. So the future of agriculture in the 21st century will certainly be technology-led. And therefore, our resources, the farmers, will have to be reoriented, retrained to adopt this new kind of a technology. If this is going to the future of agriculture, it means that the mandate of agriculture has to undergo a sea change. Conventionally, mandate of agriculture has been to produce food, fodder, and feed. But in future, as our Committee on Doubling Farmers' Income defined, the mandate of agriculture has to be not only to produce food, fodder, and feed, but it has to start producing the raw materials for the industry sector. That means it now takes us from pure production for consumption by the human beings and animals to consumption of the raw materials by the industry. So there we shift from what is called fossil resources to the naturally generated, biologically generated resources. And that is what is called bioeconomy. The future belongs to bioeconomy. So therefore, the future in agriculture, the second part of your theme, is very critical. And that gives a hope to all of us who are associated with agriculture. The young students, the young scientists who just joined as assistant professors or the scientists, please know that over the next 30 years you're going to be in career, you are going to be reorienting yourself to make agriculture as a generator of raw material for the industry sector. Now, why do we need to minimize the use of fossil resources? Iron ore, copper, bauxite, coal, all these things which we are using for centuries and millennia, but more intensively since the last 250 years, since the launch of the Industrial Revolution. What we have seen is quick exhaustion of these resources. These resources which were built over millennia through carbonation and other kinds of processes, metallurgical processes, are seeing near exhaustion. For example, the coal deposits of India are expected to last not more than 850 years. So, the world over, all these fossil resources are under stress. If this is going to be the situation, what are the alternate resources that we will require to produce our different kinds of commodities and materials that today's industries are producing? Secondly, even if they are not going to be exhausted, the big challenge is the emission of greenhouse gases. As you know, the fossil resources generate so much of greenhouse gas that we have had a negative impact on the climate change. And today I was reading that we seem to have crossed the threshold of 2 degrees Celsius. Our Paris Agreement was committed to ensuring that we do not cross 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold by 21st century end. But it appears by 2023 itself, we seem to be transitioning beyond 2 degrees Celsius, which is a very serious matter. Therefore, fossil resource utilization has to be minimized. And the alternate resources are therefore what biologically, photosynthetically, physiologically produced natural resources. So agriculture sector now comes into a play in full bloom. So please remember, the future in agriculture is extremely bright. Future of agriculture is going to be the future of economy. Future of agriculture is going to be the future of civilization in the 21st century and beyond. So we will now have to reorient our science and technology in agriculture to focus on the demands of the industrial sector, the power sector, the manufacturing sector. What kind of raw material do they require? And how do we meet those things? As you're aware, all our agriculturally generated produce, they're all made up of the basic compounds, whether it's the primary grain, primary produce, or the secondary produce like the fodder or the stalk or the root, foliage. They're all made up of the same biochemical and agrochemical and physiological elements. Now, how do we use the the secondary resources as effectively as possible to generate the resources? Say starch, for example. A starch can produce large number of sugars, whether it is sorghum or pearl millet or any other plant. So what we now need to do is that these basic resources need to be made more efficient in their production so that they all can be utilized for various kind of commodities in the industry sector, production of commodities in the industry sector. So here, how do we move up the value chain? By deploying more and more sophisticated technology. Let me give you one example of seaweed and algae. You're all aware that seaweed, it grows in the oceans, and India has a length of 8,411 kilometers of coastline, including those around the islands. Unfortunately, we do not produce enough seaweed in our country to manufacture algae required for various sectors, whether it is pharmaceuticals or textiles or paint industry or paper industry and laboratories. We don't produce. We import from a small country like Spain, which has very small length of coastline. Now, when we use seaweed, if we can grow seaweed locally, we can produce algae. When we convert seaweed into algae, agar, sorry, not algae, agar, we would have added a value of 10x. That means instead of selling seaweed, we process that into agar, we have added 10x value. If you now deploy further technology, agar can be processed into what is called agarose. And by the time you would have added the value into, to the extent of 40, that means 10x has now become 40x. Agarose can be further processed into what is called ciferose, and there the value goes up by 10,000. So what India needs to do now is to deploy new kind of processing technology. That processing technology will help us to capture more and more value from the same raw material that our agriculture and forestry sectors are going to generate. So the future in agriculture is going to be in domain of bioeconomy. That means the jobs will be created not just on the farms, but on the post-harvest management segment through processing, through agri-logistics, and through marketing. Now, agri-logistics becomes extremely important. That's going to be another future in agriculture. The reason is that when we produce more through new technology, application of digital technology, biotechnology, and new kinds of non-conventional breeding technology that are available today, including speed technology, speed breeding, we'll be producing much more than what we can really use immediately. Since we cannot consume everything that is produced immediately, we'll have to store it. We'll have to process it. We'll have to transport it over length and breadth of the world. If you want to transport from your farm gate to Delhi, for example, from Haryana, or you want to transport it to, let's say, Madagascar, or you want to send it to United States or Europe, you need to have very good packaging systems, very good storage systems, very good transportation systems. All this is called agri-logistics, whether it is for the non-perishables or the perishables. Depending upon the nature of perishability, you need to cater to that kind of agri-logistics. So the jobs in future are going to be in agri-logistics. Since agri-logistics will help us to conquer space, that means if I produce in Kerala and I'm able to send it to Delhi before the quality of the produce is compromised, I have won the space of 4,000 kilometers between Kerala and Delhi. But we also need to win the time parameter, because what I produce today in Kharif may have to be consumed after a year or after 2 years. And that is possible only when we subject the raw material to processing, because processing will transform physico-chemically the basic property of the raw material. So processing is extremely important. The future in agriculture is going to be in processing. Look, let us now look at what's the status of processing in India. There is what is called food processing and non-food processing. Whatever achievement we have done so far is mostly in the food processing sector. We process around 9% of the total production of agriculture, which is very small compared to around 70% in the United States, around 30% in Malaysia and Indonesia. But even with this 9% of processing in food sector, we are generating nearly 6.8 million jobs. So the job creation potential of processing industry is extremely high. So what we need to do is harvest the crop, primary process it, and then take it to the secondary processing sector where physico-chemically it undergoes transformation to producing the kind of demand that markets have. If the market wants a ketchup, they want a puree, they want pickles, they want papad, or they want biscuits. What kind of form do they want in? So what it primarily means is that we're going to cater to the differentiated demand of the consumers across the world. So processing is extremely important. But I was telling you that India has done whatever steps it has taken only in the food processing sector. When it comes to non-food processing, we are still infants. Not more than 1% of our agriculture commodities are processed for non-food commodities. But it is non-food commodities which will gain importance, and they are in demand as I talked to you about bioeconomy. Let's take the case of sugarcane. India produces nearly 32 million tons of sugar, but an average demand is 26 to 28 million. So what do we do with this surplus sugar? On the one hand, the farmers are taking to more and more sugarcane, and simultaneously we're saying that the sugar production is already seeing a situation of a glut. Then we want the farmers to get fair average price, but then we control the sugar commodity and then make the sugar factories unable to pay the farmers. So the alternate that government thought of was to amend the sugar control order, which was done in 2018, and allow the sugarcane juice, molasses, B-heavy molasses, etc., to be used not only for producing sugar but also to produce ethanol. In result, what we're seeing today is that our ethanol production has gone up in the country, and we're able to blend more and more ethanol with the petroleum products and enter into the green fuel domain. So this is just one example to illustrate that agriculture sector can integrate itself with the industrial sector, with the energy sector, and become a substitute for the fossil resources. And that non-food processing is going to be very important. So I would say that the future of agriculture is bright. Future in agriculture is bright. But the future of agriculture will be bright provided we address the challenges that are emanating from climate change, from the compromise of the natural resources, and of course, adopting alternate systems of management where we bring in what is called controlled management to agriculture, the way we have it in the industry sector. By deploying technology, by adopting precision agriculture, by being able to forecast the weather, forecast the pests, forecast the prices, forecast the demand. So when we are able to forecast the future, we would be able to educate our farmers, inform the farmers to take advanced action to prevent or to check losses in production and prices. So friends, I would say that I would make a bold statement that in the 21st century, the economy is going to be pivoted around agriculture and forestry species. That means biological production systems, which are more renewable compared to the fossil resources. Therefore, the future holds bright prospects for those who want to associate themselves with agriculture, whether as a researcher, as an academic, as an entrepreneur, or as a policymaker. So all of you who are associated with agriculture universities must not lose sight of the days and years ahead. You have by destiny possibly got into the agriculture universities, the diverse domains of agriculture across crop husbandry, horticulture, forestry, fisheries, animal husbandry, livestock. All these are parts of agriculture. And all these things are very important. Therefore, let us celebrate the future of agriculture. Let us commit ourselves to reorienting agriculture along new science, new technology, new management, new system-based principles. Let us base our new agriculture on resource use efficiency and producing more from less for more people, more animals, and more of industries. So I would say that you have chosen a very good theme. It has multiple aspects. I've only painted a broad picture. I've not gone into the details. That I'm sure over the next 21 days, your experts would be bringing in other things. So let me end up by saying that when we now talk about post-harvest management, and of course, alternate agriculture systems, we are talking about secondary agriculture. We're all used to primary agriculture. Primary agriculture means naturally generated system. But secondary agriculture is deployment of technology, deployment of new systems of management, where we use all the resources without differentiating between what is called primary and secondary resources. In the secondary agriculture sector, all the resources have equal value, and we trap the value in the interest of farmers, in the interest of society, in the interest of ecology, and in the interest of the sustainability. And that's where new management will come in. And therefore, friends, primary agriculture and secondary agriculture must be studied together. And universities must now encourage these systems. And therefore, since we have two respected vice chancellors here, my personal appeal to you is that in your universities, please start colleges of secondary agriculture and start diplomas in secondary agriculture, and then make secondary agriculture a part of the curriculum for all the agriculture science disciplines. So whether it's animal husbandry or horticulture or agriculture. So I would stop here, and I would once again thank you profusely for giving me this opportunity of being with you. I really would have loved to be there personally present so that we could have spent more time. But next time I will certainly join you, Dr. Arvind. And I look forward to being also at Hisar sometime and in Junagadh. Thank you all. And kindly excuse me, I have another appointment. So it's very bad man. It is a bad manner, I know, to speak and get out, but which I, much against my own grain, I'm begging leave of few people and wishing all the best to all the participants and all the trainers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Actually, it was a very thought-provoking talk, and this is a the seed you have put, that will germinate in future. We believe that in 10 to 12 days discourse of the training, we will focus on the themes and aspect which you have highlighted, particularly how the agriculture will be in future, and how we can train the students, how we can modify our course curricula to meet the challenges in future, not only for meeting the food crop demand, but also to meet the industry demand and at the same time to protect the environment. So this was really, sir, a very comprehensive talk. The words are inexplicable. As in what way should I express my gratitude to you for giving a food of thought for further discussions to the researchers, teachers, students, as well as the many entrepreneurs also. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for sparing your time and for providing an insight and vision for seeding a bright future in agriculture and sharing your thoughts on this platform based on your vast experience and exposure to this field, sir. I hope it will greatly inspire and enlighten our audience in revolutionizing the agriculture for a brighter, forecasted future in agriculture. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thanks a lot. Best of wishes to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now, moving ahead, and I invite Dr. Vikas Singh, Assistant Professor at College of Agriculture, Gwalior, to give a brief outlook of the activities which will be carried out during this 3 weeks training program. So, Dr. Vikas,
Thank you, Dr. Ekta Joshi, madam. Thank you, Dr. Ekta Joshi, madam. I am very glad to shower the limelight on the activities and themes under the 21 days training program on agriculture and future in agriculture. So, coming to the various themes and topics and various things about the training program, this course will enhance the knowledge and create a wide horizon of entrepreneurial activities and opportunities for students by providing them the learning experience by experts from national and international repute through multimedia state of pedagogy. The whole course lecture will be delivered to all the participants after the training to ensure that they will make maximum benefit of knowledge from the video and PPT provided to them. All such candidates will be provided with the course curriculum through email, and certificate will be provided to all the participants as per the guidelines after the end of the training program. Now coming about the various themes which will be covered through the lectures. The themes will be natural farming, aeroponics, hydroponics, digital and precision agriculture, value addition in agriculture, organic farming, One Health approach, and livestock and dairy technology, next generation tools for crop improvement and artificial intelligence in agriculture. Therefore, I take the opportunity to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, and a very brief introduction about him. So, we are very privileged to invite our esteemed Vice Chancellor, Sir RVS KVP Gwalior, a visionary leader and advocate of academic excellence. Sir has played a pivotal role in steering our university to new heights. Today, we are honored to have him here to share the insights and address as on the conference theme agriculture and future in agriculture.
विकास कुमार जी आप तो है वो टिल्टेड है आपका वीडियो टिल्टेड है
जी सर,
वीडियो टिल्टेड है और मेन थीम बताइए। अब आप
जी सर,
खड़े हो गए।
इसको सीधा
ठीक है। ठीक गड़बड़ हो
रहा है आप
so
आप ठीक है।
and various thoughts about the training program and make it a over to you, sir.
Over to Ekta. Ekta?
जी सर।
कंबोज साहब को रिक्वेस्ट करिए। What is the problem? Hello. हेलो,
आवाज आ रही है सर? आप विजिबल भी हैं, ऑडिबल भी हैं?
अच्छा, ये विकास की आवाज नहीं आ रही, वो बोल रहे हैं कुछ।
ठीक है, एकता मैडम आप काइंडली कंबोज सर के लिए
somebody
sir,
has
Dr.
together.
Yes, sir. Sir, Professor B.S. Kamboj, sir, with more than 29 years of experience and dedication to advancement of research and knowledge, we feel extremely delighted to invite him as a chief guest for 21 days training program. Presently, he is owing the pivotal responsibility of Vice Chancellor Chaudhary Charan Singh Haryana Agriculture University, Hisar. We would like to utilize the experience of Professor B.R. Kamboj, sir, of working in various international institutions and universities as the expertise in domain of crop residue management, zero tillage, green manuring, and climate smart technologies. So with due regards, over to you, sir, for your words. Professor B.R. Kamboj, sir, Vice Chancellor, sir.
Thank you, Dr. All of you to please mute yourself.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
please
it
mute.
will create disturbance in listening me.
अंकुर सबको वहां से म्यूट कर दो.
जी डन.
So, at the outset, I must thank Professor A.K. Shukla ji for giving me this opportunity to hear from Dr. Ashok Dalwai. Really, he has spoke the way we have to act, and hopefully in next 21 days, our scientists will be able to deliver as per his expectation. So present on this occasion, Dr. Ashok Dalwai, who is the chief guest, I think he has left now, Professor A.K. Shukla ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor of RVS KVV Gwalior, Dr. Anku, Dr. Vikas, Dr. Ekta, all dean directors, all the partners in this training, including ICAR, dear participants, students. Really a proud moment for me to talk on a topic that's again very interesting, tough to understand sometimes. Agriculture in the future and future in agriculture. So much light has already been thrown by Dr. Ashok Dalwai ji, who has spoke the way we have to work, and in nutshell he said that we have to produce more, not only for us, rather for industry sector, and that will again help us to bring more employment in agriculture, as well as we will be able to address the present day issues which we are facing in agriculture. So as all you know that agriculture has been the key development in the rise of human civilization, whereby farming of domesticated plant species created food surplus that enabled people to live a relatively stable life. The agriculture sector continues to impact society in many ways, including supporting livelihood through food, habitat, and job. Agriculture is not only providing raw material for food, clothing, medicines, constructions, but also building strong economies through trade. Agriculture is also providing opportunities for economic equality and help people to become prosperous around the world. In India, agriculture employs more than 50% of the workforce and contributed 18.3% to the country's GDP as per recent estimates. Agriculture sector has witnessed evolutionary changes in the past that have led to sustained food security on a global basis amidst the challenge of the ever-increasing population. Now we are in the 21st century. It is an era of cutting-edge technologies. New technologies and new trends are being created to simplify our lives. Agriculture sector is also continually evolving in the era of technologies, and the future holds a bundle of opportunities as well as challenges such as climate change, pollution, habitat destruction, biodiversity loss, invasive species, and over-exploitation of natural resources, etc., etc. Therefore, future of agriculture is a topic of great importance and interest due to the need to feed a growing global population while addressing economical, environmental, and social challenges. High-tech agriculture, sustainable agriculture practices, climate smart agriculture,
क्या हो गया अंकुर?
जी कनेक्टिविटी सर की तरफ से लूज हो रही है.
अच्छा, फोन करो थोड़ा.
मैं फोन कर रहा हूँ बीसी साहब को। बोल दिया है बीसी साहब को, बोल दिया।
अच्छा, उधर से प्रॉब्लम है।
हाँ, उधर से प्रॉब्लम है।
दोबारा जुड़ जाए।
हाँ, दोबारा ही जुड़ेंगे। एक्चुअली 6 बजे वहाँ यूनिवर्सिटी का टाइम है, तो सब लोगों ने जो है बंद कर दिए लाइट्स फाइट्स।
अच्छा, क्या बोले?
रीजॉइन करा रहे हैं, उनके पीएस से भी बोल दिया, वो रीजॉइन करा रहे हैं।
अच्छा जी,
हम्म।
उनका यूनिवर्सिटी में लाइट काट के चले गया, वीसी का भी लाइट काट दिया। ये कोई नॉर्म बना रखा होगा। सेविंग रिसोर्सेस।
एडमिन करिए। ज्वाइन कर लिया है सर ने।
कर लिया, गुड। दिख नहीं रहे।
काइंडली स्टार्ट। तकनीकी समस्या के कारण चला गया था वीडियो। आप काइंडली आप स्टार्ट करिए सर।
Yeah. Now it's okay, I think. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. And this technical hitch is always there when we talk through this virtual mode. But
Yes.
still, I was talking about the vertical farming and controlled environment agriculture as again talked by Dr. Dalwai also. That's the need of the hour because urbanization is on the rise. There is an increased interest in vertical farming and urban agriculture. Vertical farms use hydroponics or aeroponics to grow crops in controlled environments. Urban agriculture can reduce food transportation distances, provide fresh produce in urban areas, and save water and land. These efforts can make agriculture more sustainable and localized. Then genetic engineering and CRISPR technology and the use of biotechnology and genome editing techniques are revolutionizing crop development. Researchers can modify crops to enhance their nutritional content or make them resistant to pests and diseases. These technologies offer the potential to improve crop yields, nutritional quality, resistance to environmental stresses. For example, the development of vitamin-enriched golden rice can help to combat malnutrition in regions with rice-based diets. The robotics and automation, the use of robots and autonomous machinery in agriculture can streamline labor-intensive tasks such as planting, harvesting, and weeding. This can help to address the labor shortages and reduce the environmental impact of farming. If we talk about the sustainable practices and agroecology, current situation as well as future needs, sustainable agriculture which involve practices that lead to long-term environmental and economic benefits. Initiatives like the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, highlight the importance of sustainable agriculture in shaping the future as it can help combat climate change, preserve biodiversity, and ensure food security. With increasing concerns about environmental sustainability, there is a growing emphasis on regenerative agriculture and agroecological practices. These approaches focus on maintaining or improving ecosystem health, reducing reliance on synthetic inputs, and fostering biodiversity. If we talk about the blockchain technology for supply chain transparency, improving the agri-food supply chain and traceability is also one of the important aspects of future agriculture. Blockchain technology is one such tool used to trace food products from farm to table. Enhanced traceability can reduce food fraud and improve food safety, which is crucial for consumer trust and public health. Climate resilient agriculture, we are all witnessing the impact of climate change on agriculture and day-to-day life. Erratic weather patterns are creating havoc and posing significant challenges to agriculture. In future demands adoption of climate change, climate resilient practices such as drought-resistant crops, water-efficient irrigation, and crop rotation. Adaptations like agroforestry can mitigate the impact of climate change and improve soil health. Research and development activities keeping this in view are need of the hour. Alternative protein sources, as the demand for protein increases with a growing global population, alternative protein sources such as plant-based proteins and lab-grown meats are likely to become more prominent. Data analytics and artificial intelligence, again, it's very important because we are not limited only to growing crops or other cropping systems. Rather, we need to focus on the data analytics, and in the same way, artificial intelligence also. Advanced data analytics and artificial intelligence can provide valuable insights into crop management, pest control, and resource optimization. It is an era of digitalization. We are using digitalization processes everyday aspects. Agriculture is not an exemption. Digital agriculture involves the use of data and analytics for decision making. Farmers can monitor and optimize every aspect of their operation from soil health to pest control. It helps in informed decisions that increase efficiency, reduce resource use, and enhance sustainability. Water efficient technologies, again, water is very important, and the increasing stress on water resources technologies for efficient water use in agriculture, maybe the drip irrigation or the soil moisture sensors will likely become more important for future agriculture. Educational and skill development programs, again, capacity building is the key. When we have to deliver at such a pace in this changing environment, we need to focus on the skill development programs, and maybe the educational, maybe for our student, our teacher, or the entrepreneur that's required to. Then again, the policy support for sustainable agriculture. It's again very important. When you just recommend any technology, definitely the policy support is required to implement any technology which we are evolving from the system. And again, it is important to note that future of agriculture will likely be shaped by a combination of these trends, and the specific trajectory will depend on factors such as technological advancements, policy decisions, and social priorities. Additionally, addressing issues of food security, environmental sustainability, and economic viability will be critical in shaping the future of agriculture. If I talk about future in agriculture, though much has already been talked about this, but still the future of agriculture is a multiple faceted field with a focus on sustainability, technology, climate resilience, and innovation, and presents a myriad of opportunities. That is a bright future in this sector. Though there was a global decline in share of agricultural GDPs during the last couple of years, but agriculture remains the second highest source of employment, that is 26.7% of total workforce as per employment indicators from the Food and Agriculture Organizations of the United Nations. As we are aware that agriculture is not only about farming, it encompasses various aspects of food production, plant protection, sustainability, technology, research, policy, and many more. There are plenty of opportunities for young students and scholars in agriculture sector. Agriculture sector not only provides just academic degrees, but also opportunities to undertake internships and apprenticeships to learn practical skills and gain insights in the industry. Scholarships and grant supports are there for research and innovations on the burning topics of agriculture sector. Sharing knowledge about agriculture is essential for promoting sustainable practices. Students can pursue careers in agricultural education as researchers, professors. One can pursue career in extension services and outreach programs to educate farmers, communities, and the public about best practices. Agriculture offers opportunities for entrepreneurship ranging from startups, your own farm, starting business at your own farm to create innovative agriculture technologies or value-added products. As the world focuses on sustainability, there is a growing demand for experts in sustainable agriculture practices. Students can specialize in areas such as organic farming, natural farming, agroecology, precision agriculture, so on, and also the resource efficient practices. The intersection of agriculture and technology is rapidly evolving. Students with interest in fields like robotics, artificial intelligence, data science, and remote sensing can contribute to the development of cutting-edge solutions for agriculture. In addition to these, there are opportunities to work in rural development, policy development, public services, food science and safety, as well as international agriculture. Agriculture has a global impact. One can explore opportunities to work on international agriculture projects, collaborate with farmers from different countries, and address global food security challenges. networking with professionals in the field, participating in internship or research projects, and staying updated on industry trends and technological advancement helps to get a great future in the future agriculture. And we can just again the technological innovations, and agriculture becomes more technologically advanced, there are opportunities for individual and businesses to encourage in the development and implementation of cutting edge technologies. These includes areas such as precision agriculture, robotics, artificial intelligence, and sensor technologies. Likewise, we can choose career in the data analytics, then the agri-tech services, vertical farming, controlled environment agriculture, agribusiness and supply chain management is again the important area where we can focus. Likewise, sustainable and organic or the natural farming, alternative protein sources, agri-tourism and education. There is a much more potential for agri-tourism educational initiatives that connects consumers with the agricultural processes, which has been talked by Dr. Dalwai also. This could include own farm experiences, farm tours and educational programs highlighting sustainable farming practices. Likewise, water efficient technology, everybody knows about that, climate resilient crop development, then e-commerce platform for agriculture. These are very important. Then skill training and education, again, capacity building is much more important. Blockchain application in agriculture, biological solutions for pest and disease management. And besides it, now the time has come that we need to work on the ionic liquid gas. That's another area where we can manage the pest without harming our soil environment. So I will conclude with the remark that continued advancement in technology such as precision agriculture, biotechnology, and data analytics offer the potential to increase crop yields, reduce resource use, and enhance sustainability. By adopting and developing these trends, future agriculture can meet the challenges of a growing population and a changing world while minimizing its negative impacts on the environment and society. I can say that the deliberations which are going to occur during next 21 days, we will come out some of the recommendations out, though it is a training program, but still the areas where we can focus, okay, to have the better future of agriculture, these are the technology we need to focus. And simultaneously, now the time has come, as said by Dr. Ashok also, that we need to focus on the some of the need to reorient, modify our course curricula as per the demand of the industry, and because we have to produce with less resources, and for having the optimal use of the resources which we are available and improving the efficiency or the precision agriculture is much more important. Hopefully, we will discuss on all those issues. I'm really thankful to Professor Shukla, all the organizers, that you given me this opportunity to interact with such an esteemed participant in the program. Thank you very much.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। मैं अपने ऑडियंस को बताना चाहूंगा कि सर का एक लेक्चर भी है, फार्मर एम्पावरमेंट थ्रू एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप। सर 1-1.5 घंटे का लेक्चर भी देंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर आपके उद्बोधन हेतु। एकता जोशी मैडम।
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your visionary thoughts and on this platform and infusing and fertilizing our young minds as well as learned minds with your bright and vibrant ideas and thoughts. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I really feel esteemed privileged to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor S.K. Shukla, sir, a visionary leader and an advocate of academic excellence. Sir has played a pivotal role in steering our university to new heights. Today, we are all honored to have him here to share insights and address on this 21 days training program for agriculture in future and future in agriculture. So, without saying much, I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir for his kind and inspiring words. Professor A.K. Shukla Sir. Pardon, sir, you are muted.
Thank you, Ekta. Good afternoon to all of you. Today's chief guest, Dr. Ashok Dalwai Sahab. He's a senior IAS and very chief executive of Rainfed Authority of India, attached to the Prime Minister Office of India. And then we have Dr. V.R. Kamboj sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor from CCS HAU Hisar, Dr. Jadhav from Junagadh Agriculture University, Dr. Y.P. Singh, Director Extension from RVS KVB, Gwalior. There are many more learned friends. I could see them, but it is not possible to name all of them. Actually, the talk delivered by Dr. Dalwai and Dr. Kamboj sir has made my task easy. In fact, you know, the agriculture which we are looking in future was started in Neolithic era. Before that, people were not knowing what is agriculture, how to grow crops, how to fertilize soil, how to collect seeds. They were not knowing anything. They were just like living their life as a hunter and mostly dependent on the animals. As the population increases during that time, so they have started eating leaves, and they have then thought how to grow more crops, how to grow more plants rather, not the crops. So they have internalized many forest plants and so many grasses as a food crops. As you know that there are a number of grasses still which we have adapted them by gene editing or by changing their genome into the cultivable crops, like the crops you see, the millets. They all belongs to the grass family, and they are now grown very much. I shall be confined my talk from before 1950 and then later on 1950. If you look seriously, that there has been a paradigm shift in agriculture after 1950. Up to 1950, we were struggling for food, twice a meal. And then, efforts were made to grow more foods, to search the crops which can give more production. I don't know whether by science or by default, we could discover two genes. One, Norrin-10 in wheat, and then D-zeovuzin in rice. These genes proved a boon for enhancing production in agriculture. But these genes, the crops developed from these genes, were highly responsive to the fertilizer. The fertilizer industry came up in a broad way across the globe. After 1918, the fertilizer consumption up to 1950 was very, very less. Particularly in India, it was only 1.5 kg per hectare. Now, if you see, the fertilizer consumption is about 145 kg per hectare. Actually, thereafter, what happens when we have started using high amount of fertilizer, we got good crops, but it has affected the soil health, the environment. So second paradigm was to see whether we have to take care of our environment and soil while taking the more production. Particularly after 1995, or if you say precisely after 2000, a new school of thoughts arisen that we are more concerned about the nutrition rather than the quantity. Why? Because whatever the food grain production, the 6-time increase in food grain and 4-time increase in horticulture crops, all has been achieved at the cost of jeopardizing the natural resources in a great way. This actually have given a new thought to the human being, that now the challenges what we are thinking, that not only the challenges that our land is shrinking, but there are so many other challenges. If you see critically, making the huge population nutritionally secured with the change in the food habits. This is what important, food habits. That is mounts a daunting challenge in view of stagnation in net cultivated area. Why? Because of urbanization and industrialization. The huge population is making our land holdings more fragmented and more depends on exploitation of natural resources, particularly shrinking water resources and degenerating biodiversity, then reducing farm profits. And we all know that for the last 10 years, we are giving more emphasis on the climate change. The climate change-induced adverse impact is being seen everywhere. Then this is not only confined to the agriculture, but also emerging energy and environmental sectors. They are also posing a serious threat to agriculture sustainability, food and nutritional security. Particularly when we talk sustainability, sustainable means using the natural resources in such a way that not only meet our present need of the enhancing population, but also maintains the ability of future generations to meet their demand. Their demand means not only food, but nutritious food. Actually, if you see the concept of new science, most of the people are talking about the two concepts. One is zero carbon, means zero carbon farming, then zero hunger. This is what very, very important. But zero carbon, we have to see many, the challenges which particularly occurred as a second generation problem after the Green Revolution. That is degradation of land. We have about 120 million ton degraded lands, while cultivable land is only 142 million. So most of the times, the scientists and other policymakers are raising the questions: can we increase the area? Yes, we can increase the area. We can increase it. That is why we have kept the title Future in Agriculture and Agriculture in Future. We can increase the area, by bringing the degraded lands under the cultivation. This is the one. Then what happens in the last 50 years, if you see, that we have used the fertilizer, those fertilizer which were particularly devoid of micronutrients and secondary nutrients. So there was a huge mining of nutrients from the soil. If you see critically, 50% soils of the world are hungry in zinc. About 30% soils are deficient in sulfur. The limitations of boron deficiency is very, very high across the globe, because other than the India, in many parts of the world, we have acid soils. The boron deficiency is coming up in a great way. So this is what happening actually, that this much mining from the soils is leading to the micronutrient and mineral deficiency in the animals and human being. So whether we are interested to increase the food grain production only, or should we look into the link between the soil health and human health? If we are not going to maintain our soil, then definitely it will not possible to maintain human health. If you look back the trend of the prescription made by the doctors in the last 10 years, if you go to doctors for any kind of the prescription for any disease, they are inadvertently prescribing the minerals and vitamins in your in additions to the medicines required for your health. What is this? Why they are prescribing this? It means the malnutrition is going to be a biggest problem in the country. Malnutrition is the cause of concern not only in women and children due to poor purchasing power of the people's inability to go in nutrient-rich food like fruits, vegetable, pulses, but this is going to be a great way impact the all human beings and animals in future, because our soils are highly deficient in most of the nutrients. Then what should be the solution? We are talking about the biofortification. So many breeders have developed biofortified seeds, biofortified variety. But I have a different concern. Whether developing the biofortified variety is necessary or developing the agronomy which can enhance the nutrients load in the edible plant parts is important. Because if you are developing variety, so it is not possible to meet the seed replacement across the country. That work may go side on side. But the more important work is to develop the agronomy which can enhance the micronutrient content in the edible plant parts. Actually, and then we can introduce those biofortified food in our midday plan, in the plants where the women are given free food. That can be done. The production of use of millets for nutritional security may also have a more impetus in future. Actually, what is important, that we have to look the agriculture in different way. What we are looking, there are opportunities that we may expand the arena of agriculture, from agriculture to biogeochemistry, from agriculture to agri-medicos also in future. But how we can move forward, this is what very, very important concern. We have introduced conservation agriculture, but the adoption of conservation agriculture is still very, very limited. Only the 2% farmers are using the conservation agriculture. The rest are not doing. We have introduced natural farming, organic farming. So many new concepts are coming up. But still challenges are there to address how to meet the nutritious food demand. I'm not talking about the food demand that is already met, the nutritious food demand of the country. So increasing the food production and improving distribution and delivery system is required. How to deliver it, particularly in a comprehensive strategy, is required, so that, that should reduce a kind of strain on the natural resource depletion and rapidly changing the climate condition, which are playing a very important role in agriculture system. The another important point which I would like to highlight is bridging the income gap between the agriculture and non-agriculture. You see that in India, we have 60% employment in agriculture. 70% population is dependent on it. Still we are not able to attract the youth in agriculture. Why? We have developed so many programs, ARYA, attracting and retaining youth in agriculture, student ready for entrepreneurship development, startup, so many things we are talking. So we are trying our best to develop new ELP plans, so many things. But still, we see that our students are not willing to continue as agriculturists in their farmers' field. What they want a very, very small job, REO, RHEO, very, very small. They are not interested. Why? Because agriculture is still agriculture. And we consider that agriculture is not having any kind of prestige. So we have to convert the agriculture as a prestigious farming. The farmers should have prestige in the society. There are farmers in America, in Canada. They have very high reputation in the society. So another important thing is required to change the mindset of the people, that only those who are important, who are doing service, or who are serving to the people, or doing service in the government sector. This concept has to be revised, and our mindset has to be changed. There are opportunities in agriculture, and our students can fetch lot of money from there, and still we are not willing to go there. Why? When we talk about the future in agriculture, I have narrated so many times. If you see all the IIT peoples, they are not agriculturists, but if you see the number of startup, incubation, and many things related to agriculture business, they are being done by the IITians, not by the agriculture students. Why? It means this requires some kind of change in our course curriculum. Can we include some course curriculum related to Internet of Things, related to artificial intelligence, related to big data analysis, related to price indexing, related to income harnessing? How we can do all those things? We should give more emphasis on the profit of the farmers. If they are earning more, they will have a good reputation. So actually, what we are doing from the last so many years is still, though have much improved their agriculture from sustenance to the agriculture of sustainable. But I believe from sustainable, we have to go for agriculture as entrepreneurs. That may not only meet the nutritious food demand of the society, but also earns, a big profit to get a reputation in the society. This is what very, very important. We need a different kind of employment in agriculture. We need a different kind of mechanization in agriculture. We need the policies which can include the nutraceuticals in our daily food diet. Can our policy makers ask the processor, means the processing processing sector, that they have to include 20% millets in the biscuits making, 20% millets in the flax making. Is this possible? That is the way we can go forward. In addition to the scientific and technological innovations, which are essential for maintaining the food and nutritional security on the sustainable basis. I believe and I believe that you all agree with me that in future we need nutrition and climate smart agriculture, not only in a limited way, but in a comprehensive way that may preserve your sustainability, resilience, and mitigation of agriculture, particularly in production system, can be improved that way. So we need integrated, evidence-based, and some sort of transformative approach to address the food, nutrition, and climate issues that requires coordinated efforts at all levels. Maybe from researchers to policies and across the commercial, maybe from the government, civil society sectors, all those things are needed in an integrated manner. We have to identify and create and adopt a field level suitable location specific technologies that may go a long way in enhancing the agriculture production, farmers' income, elevating poverty, and ensuring food and nutrition security of the unsustainable basis, and providing employment to the youth as well as reputation in the society. I believe this is all from my side from today. I give my best wishes to all the participants that they should try to learn more and more from the lectures being imparted by the so many honorable vice chancellors, directors, and many learned speakers are there. I believe that you all will ponder upon the aspects which are being told by Dr. Dalwai Saab, Dr. Kamboj Saab, and myself, and to do some new kind of agriculture in future. Maybe some DEAM project. When I was in NARM, so we were doing some DEAM project. Maybe some DEAM project that if you are not able to increase the productivity, can we grow the wheat and potato together? Wheat on the up the ground and potato in the underground. Can we develop such kind of the crops in future, like critical we have developed in the past? Is it possible so that we can get the production in two way instead of getting on the one way? That kind of the new science has to emerge, and we have to give a new insight into our thinking. I'm sure that the coming generation is very, very intelligent. And the only thing is they are not stable. So they have to put their efforts and make their mind stable. I am sure, and I would like to assure you that if you do progress in the field of agriculture itself, you have a lot of reputation. Rather, after 50 years, only agriculturists will have reputation, the best reputation, as compared to other sectors of the government, other sectors of the society. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all. Good wishes.
Thank you, sir, for your golden words. Sir, your distinguished presence and address has added immense honor to this occasion. On behalf of our whole family of Raj Mehta Vijay Scindia Krishi Vishyavidhyalaya Gwalior, on this platform, I take this opportunity to congratulate our visionary Vice Chancellor, sir, for his untiring efforts and unwavering commitment to the excellence and advancement of our university since 1 year, and it continues for many years to go. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to extend my invitation to join Dr. YP Singh Sir, Director Extension Services and Project Investigator of IDP NAHIP at RVS KVV Gwalior, for his vote of thanks. Dr. YP Singh Sir.
Dr. YP Singh.
डॉक्टर वाईपी सिंह सर, आप स्टार्ट करें। वो तो है ही नहीं शायद।
है नहीं तो आप बोल दो, कोई बात नहीं।
सर वो अब है ही नहीं, उन्होंने ज्वाइन नहीं किया है।
नहीं थे तो कहीं इधर उधर हो गए होंगे। आप ये एकता बोल देगी थैंक यू, और क्या ये विकास को बोल दो।
I request Dr. Vikas Singh for a vote of thanks for today's event.
I utilize this opportunity and have a very warm regards to our esteemed Vice Chancellor, sir, esteemed Vice Chancellor, CCSH University, Dr. B.R. Kambose, sir, and all the respected faculties, teams, and I would like to take the honor to have a grateful attitude and esteemed thankfulness to our chief guest of honor, Dr. Ashok Dalwai, sir. So with due respects and honorable submission, I wish to invite also a great vote of thanks to Professor R.B. Mandaria, sir, Director Research. Thank you, sir, for all your enlightened speakings. Thank you, sir. All.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. And before proceeding ahead towards the end of this today's event, which is going to take place for the 3 weeks on online mode, along with this event, Rajmata Vijay Vidya Krishi Vishwavidyalaya Gwalior is going to organize some other events also. On 21st or 22nd December in 2023, we are going to organize the international conference on One Health and One World. Along with this, we are going to organize 10 days international training programs on aeroponics, on natural farming, as well as on One Health and One World. With immense pleasure, I want to submit that an international conference on millets is also going to take place in 2024, and the Kisan Mela on a grand scale will be performed and organized in month of January 2024. With all this and the desired information and brochure and related information will be shared on our university platform. With this, I thank you all for sparing your valuable time and giving your inputs to making this inaugural session of 21 days program a successful event. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Shukla. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Dr. Jadhav, thank you. Thank you so much.
आरबी मंदारिया सर।
मंदारिया साहब नमस्कार। थैंक यू।
सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स का बहुत बहुत आभार। कल 6:30 बजे से लेक्चर सीरीज स्टार्ट होगी, सब लोग समय पे ज्वाइन करिएगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सभी का। माननीय कुलपति जी का बहुत बहुत आभार, और मैं 1 साल पूर्ण होने पर बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं कि संस्था उनके मार्गदर्शन में आकाश छू रही है। जूनागढ़ एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी का व्यक्ति का आभार व्यक्त कर, साथ ही साथ जिनका मैं नाम नहीं ले पा रहा, उन व्यक्ति का मेरे दिल में अपार स्नेह और आस्था है। इसके साथ साथ मैं कार्यक्रम की समाप्ति की घोषणा करता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you all.